868-0000 is a local number. Again, 313-868-0000. Support the Unity and Rebuilding.
Savior's Day 2022, Sunday, February 27th, 11 a.m. Central Standard Time, 12 noon Eastern Standard Time. Savior's Day Virtual Conference with the leader and teacher of the new nation of Islam, the Son of Man. The message this year:
the great and dreadful day of the judgment of the world is now.
Savior's Day live on YouTube, the new nation of Islam, TV 33 WHPR. Sunday, February 27th, brother, reading the Holy Scripture and not really understanding.
Conference recording started. Conference recording started.
Someone that has a different view than your own, then let's talk with one another. Then let's reason with one another on a scriptural discussion with the Son of Man every Wednesday at 9 p.m., Friday at 9 p.m., and Sunday at 12 noon. On WHPR TV Detroit Live, 88.1 FM WHPR, and Comcast Cable. Why don't you call and discuss the Holy Bible, and if you have one, the Holy Quran, and come to an agreement about the Holy Scriptures and their true meaning? You can call in live on the air at area code 313-868-4336, 313-868-0342, or 313-868-0351. That's 313-868-4336, 313-868-0342, or 313-868-0351. And now, let's go live with a scriptural discussion with the Son of Man.
In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Most Merciful, the Truthful, and the Most Just, I greet all of you who are hungry and thirsty for Allah's righteousness. I greet you all with the greeting words of peace. May Allah's salam alaikum.
May Allah's salam.
I want to say that, those are, I don't know if the people that sang a lot of those songs that I like to play from time to time got a problem with me playing their music. It's like this. There are copyrighted laws and that kind of thing that one of my brothers have familiarized me with. That when you put something out in the public, there is a clause called the fair usage clause. That if people want to use something that you put out in the public, not to make money off of, but to teach a class or to use as a reference, there's no laws against that. Now, I warned you about getting in the way when I'm on the air teaching class. I'm not going to want you no more. I'm just going to let the angels, angel, understand something. Most people think angels are just talking about people or whatnot. The true definition of angel is messenger of God. When you understand that, do your hand like that. Now, if you do it hard enough and fast enough, you will feel air on your hand. That air is sending a message to your hand that I'm here with your hand relays that message to your body and say, you pick up a fan. You notice. You pick up a fan and fan yourself. That air is sending a message to you, which gives a whole different sphere of what angels are. Angels are all around us. Now, they can be ordered to do you good, or they can be ordered to do you evil. The messenger said this. He said, Allah came to do you good. If you will not accept the good, he will do you evil. Notice the term do you evil. Well, ain't nothing that Allah does that's evil. But it can be evil to who it's done to. I didn't hear you. And when you see evil done to somebody that deserves it, you say, good for you. You don't say evil for you. You say good for you. I didn't hear you.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now you want to make yourself my enemy, you go right ahead. Let me show you something. I don't have to use none of y'all to play music that I like to hear. I can make music and play it from myself. I don't have to have you do it for me. Let me show you here. This is a good example right here. I got brothers that are musicians. They also have karaoke things that they play the music for you, and you can add your own song to it, your own voice to it. So I may not please you, but I like to hear myself sing. That's why I do it. So, you know. You don't know me by now. You will never know me. All the things that we've been through, you should understand me like I understand you. Now, girl, I know the difference between right and wrong, and I ain't gonna do nothing to break up our happy home. Oh, don't get so excited when I come home a little late at night, cause we only act like children when we argue, fuss, and fight. You don't know me, but you don't know me. You will never know. No, you never know me. You don't know me, but I know. No, you never know me. We've all got our own funny mood. I've got mine, and you got yours too. Just trust in me, like I'm trusting you. And as long as we've been together, it should be so easy to do. Just get yourself together, or we might as well say goodbye. Cause what good is another
you can't see our eyes. No, you won't. We are family. I got my brothers and my sisters with me. We are family. Get up, everybody, and sing. We are family. I got my brothers and my sisters with me. We are family. Get up, everybody, and sing. Everyone gets even together as they pass us by. And each life is like birds of a feather. I want them no lie. All of the people around us they say, can they be that close? Just like the state on the record. We're getting love and a family dog. We are family. Yeah, 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 yeah. I got my brothers and my sisters with me. We are family. Get up, everybody, and sing. Come on and sing to me. We are family. I got my brothers and my sisters with me. We are family. Get up, everybody, and sing. Living life is fun and we've just begun to get our share of this world. I hope we have for our future. That goes in life. We don't get depressed because we live by our golden rule. Have faith in God and the things you do. Do what you want done to you. This is our family too. We are family. I got my brothers and my sisters with me. We are family. Get up, everybody, and sing. We are family. I got my brothers and my sisters with me. We are family. Get up, everybody, and sing. We are family. We are family. I got my brothers and my sisters with me. We are family. We are family. Get up, everybody, and sing. We are family. I got my brothers and my sisters with me. live together, love together. Hey, let's work together, 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 live together. Love together, let's work together, live, love together, let's work together, live, love together. We are family. I got all my brothers and my sisters right here with me now. We are family. We're a family. Yeah, everybody can sing and sing. We are family. I got all my brothers and my sisters right here with me. We are family. We're a family. Yeah, everybody can sing. Hear you sing.
I want you to know that we don't have to borrow music from you. We can make our own. Not here at your mercy and nothing that I do. As the Honorable Elijah Muhammad told you, we've been around here for over 78 trillion years, and that's since we started counting. That's not our beginning. You know what makes people ungrateful? They don't remember what you did for them. Huh? Let me show you an example of what remembering what somebody did for you will make you show gratitude. If you wasn't so busy running around here trying to put your name on Allah's work, maybe you wouldn't be in the shape you in. Coming up with a book and thought you authored it. Truth ain't got but one author. Allah's the author of all truth. You should always start off saying, it has been revealed to me, the truth of this has been revealed to me. Allah has granted me the truth of this. Do you understand? You didn't create no matter. And if you didn't create physical matter, you cannot create subject matter. You discover it. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven images. It's a wonderful thing to discover truth and share it with people. But it's a hateful thing to discover the truth and then claim you authored it. And now you're suffering for that. That's why it said, let God be true and every man be a liar that would say he authored something. I didn't hear you. But anyway, you're ungrateful. When you was a caveman, you didn't seem to have no problem with knowing that you didn't know and that Moses knew. Then you get a little knowledge and all of a sudden, you the all-knowing one. You ungrateful wretches. Now, let me show you what happens when you remember what somebody did for you. You running around here. I was thinking about Ohio. voted for Donald Trump. Yeah, they voted to put him back in there. Done filled up the Congress with a bunch of so-called Republicans. If it had been left up to the Republicans, they wouldn't have no auto industry now. How soon we forget, huh? Huh? Just watch this.
By any measure, President Biden, your report card is outstanding for your first year as president.
That's Ohio Democratic Representative Mark, who was elected to Congress in 1982 and today issued a report card on President Biden, comparing him to every president since Ronald Reagan.
I have served in the Congress during the tenure of 6 presidents. Six presidents.
Now, before I let this play, this wasn't literally today. This was on the 17th of February. See, I ain't like you. I don't have to push a lie. No, I'm just letting you see the truth of what I'm saying. President Biden did a whole lot for this country in 1 year. He and his administration has did a lot to help this country and to pull it out of the disaster of 4 years of a maniac. I remember when he claimed he didn't know Putin. He's not very knowledgeable of Putin. Now he claims he knows Putin very well. I didn't hear you. See, when you lie, you forget what lie you told. Huh? I knew he was lying when his son said Moscow was his favorite city. How in the world you would declare Moscow to be your favorite city unless you've been going there on a very regular basis and then got used to going there? I didn't hear you. You know, the friends of a dictator, the friends, people that he considered friends, oh man, they think highly of him. He rolled out the red carpet for him. See, but that's not the problem. You don't find out that you don't want a dictator until he don't consider you his friend. Then he don't feel like he have to respect you. He does not feel like he has to give you justice or whatnot. Whatever he do to you, he feel it's okay. Do you understand? That's a child's mind. That's not the mind of an adult. Children think like that. Long as you giving them what they want or doing what they want, you their friend. But the minute you start saying no to them, they hate you. I didn't hear you. Want to beat you up, want to do something to you. Huh? So they are these little petty-minded dictators are nothing but babies in grown bodies. Got a baby mind in a grown man's body. You understand? You cannot judge the degree of civilized intelligence that's in a man or woman on how they treat those that agree with them. But you can judge their degree of civilized intelligence on how they treat those who don't agree with them.
I can honestly say, President Biden, you have done more good works to benefit this region already and into the future with the passage of the Rescue and Infrastructure and Job Acts than any other president whom I have walked alongside as a member of Congress. The American people over the next 5 years and more will develop a greater understanding of what you have achieved as they begin to experience the modernization of our nation.
And with that, the Democrats' campaign to hold representatives appears to be officially underway, which is represented in Congress, serving woman in both the House and the Senate. Here is what President Biden went to Ohio to announce.
Today, we're announcing an investment of $1 billion. From the bipartisan infrastructure bill. It's going to allow the most significant restoration of the Great Lakes in the history of the Great Lakes. Every dollar we spend cleaning up the Great Lakes generates between $3 and $4 in economic benefit. That's a fact. And it's a really good investment.
Joining us now, Representative Marcy Kaptur, Democrat of Ohio. She's a member of the House Appropriations Committee and the Blue Collar Caucus. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. Really appreciate it. The president came to your district today. What were you able to report, in effect, to your district today that you are delivering? Oh, we have a sound problem here. Representative Kaptur, I cannot hear your sound at all. I'm not sure that our control room can. I'm not hearing anything from our control room.
All right, can you hear me now?
Oh, now we can hear you. Now we can hear you. Yes, we hear you now. Please go ahead.
All right, what I wanted to say is we were so privileged that the President of the United States, the first president ever to come to the city of Lorain, Ohio, the home of the admiral during World War II that led the U.S. Navy, Admiral Ernest King, the home of Toni Morrison, the poet laureate. I could tell you so much more, but this is a city that has struggled because of what's happened in the economy with the automotive industry, with the steel industry, and we're beginning to see the new shoots of progress. And the president was there to announce that one of the major projects to help Lorain and all the communities of the Great Lakes would be to clean up areas of concern that were polluted over the years in order that the fish life can come back, that people can drink the water, that they can swim in the water again. And but it just wasn't for Lorain. I co-chair the Great Lakes Caucus in the House of Representatives, and the announcement today of $1 billion for the Great Lakes Restoration Initiative in the Great Lakes, it's astounding what we will do for the largest body of fresh water on earth. This is for our country. The Canadians will help us. They share our lakes, a couple of them, and we will do something for future generations that we should have done long ago. I was so proud of President Biden. I was so proud of the people that came with him. And he was, and he told me, he said, Congresswoman, you know, my wife grew up near Lake Ontario. I thought, the one.
Let me remind you of something. When you are not able and honest to give credit to people for good that they do, it disqualifies you from judging the bad. It's just like, you notice, I stand up here and talk about white people, and I criticize them, and I teach that the white man is the devil. But you don't hear no white people coming on there telling me that I'm teaching hate. Because they know it ain't got nothing to do with their skin. I'm just identifying the people that we made devils out of. Do you understand? They ain't devils because they white. They devils because of the mind we put in them. And we put a curse on them. That's what the curse is, that they's devils. And we said that after 6,000 years, that curse would be removed. And I'm here to remove it. Ain't my fault if they too dumb or foolish to accept the mind that I'm offering them now. I mean, you done seen people. You, all your life, you have seen people go into fields. Some of you grew up with people that have now become doctors, lawyers, nurses, presidents, and what the Son of Man. But when we was all in school together, we didn't know what each other had the potential to be. But knowledge, the mind that we came into and that entered into us, changed us. We shall not all sleep, but we shall all be changed. In a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, at the last trumpet. This is the last trumpet that's going to be sounded to you. As the messenger said, he said, there was an end to Noah sounding his trumpet in his day and time. There was an end to Abraham and Lot. Matter of fact, I'm going to let you hear it. You see, when the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was here, they didn't have means to talk to the whole world at once. Couldn't do that. And I want you to listen to what he warned you about. This is the Honorable Elijah Muhammad in the Theology of Time. And it's dated July 30th, 19.
We welcome you, whom the Secretary have called off, for visiting us here this afternoon to get over to you so that when you leave here, you have knowledge of us and our presence in the world. In fact about it, this is what we are here for. To get over to you and acquainted with you of that which God has sent to you through me. We want to get acquainted so fast until we are nervous. Our acquaintance means much. For a long time, 40 years, I have been among you. Kind of a trumpet. So there was an end sounding his trumpet in his day and time. There was an end to Abraham and Lot sounding their trumpet in Sodom and Gomorrah. People at that time And it also came an end to Moses and Aaron, sounding that trumpet to Pharaoh and his people. These kind of trumpets is the mouth of men and the words proceeding from their mouth. These are the first trumpets that sound. The other trumpet is not heard directly from the mouth. It passes through some mechanical instrument. That's the kind of trumpet I'm warning you to be aware of. Don't forget.
You heard him. They was that I'm warning you to be aware of. What do you think beware means? Beware. You've seen that. Beware of you. Even if you don't see this, he around there. Might be more than one. I didn't hear you. But be aware that there is a dog around here somewhere. Is that right? The Honorable Elijah Muhammad told you to beware of this trumpet that will be passed through a mechanical instrument. Remember, the scripture says in the, look, anybody that disagree with me, you make sure you stop me so they can talk to me. I'm not up here just speaking for health. I'm speaking for your health. Because everybody gonna be held accountable for what I see. Ain't my fault because there wasn't a man on the air. Now you fix it however you want to, doctor. Look what the book prophesied of. It says in the 31st verse of the 25th chapter of Matthew, when the Son of Man shall come. Didn't say if he come. When he comes in his temple, his glory. The light bulb is the glory of the electricity. I am the glory of the truth of God, the Son of Man. The word around which brains are supposed to get in orbit and stay there. I didn't hear you. Okay. Then it says, when the Son of Man shall come in his glory, and all the holy angels with him. No, nobody asked me which book I believe in. Do they? Not no more. I didn't hear you. Because they see me reading from all of them, huh?
Yes, sir.
All right. And all the holy scriptures with him. Then shall he sit. That's what the mind does. The mind sits upon the brain. That's why it says the heaven is God's throne. The heaven is your brain. And my throne is ever on water. Huh? I didn't hear you.
Yes, sir.
It's getting clearer and clearer, ain't it? Then it says, and before him shall be gathered all nations on the internet, on the mechanical instrument. Huh? What did he say? What was them words that he used? He said the trumpet that I want to warn you of, it don't just come from the mouth. It passes through some mechanical instrument.
And the words proceeding from their mouth. These are the first trumpets that sound, called an easy sound, because they're coming from man's mouth. Trumpet is not heard directly from the mouth. It passes through some mechanical instrument. That's
Are we on the air in Australia
Yes, sir.
and in Russia?
Yes.
Everywhere that there's an internet, people can hear us on there if they want to. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What did Allah say? Son of man, give them warning from me whether they will hear or whether they will forbear. Huh? You know, you see these sirens they got up around nuclear plants and stuff? They ain't responsible to come to your house and wake you up out of your sleep or stop you from partying or you can put a muffle on your ear. But if them sirens work like they supposed to, it ain't nobody's fault but your own if you didn't hear it. Do you understand? They don't have a duty to make you hear the siren. They have a duty to make sure that siren sounded. Did you hear me? What did that siren sound tell you? It's a warning, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
To get out. Is that right?
That's right.
What that song say? Let silver cities rise. The morning lights. The streets that lead streets that lead are called pathways. Is that right? And sirens called them out with a song. And they sang as it were a new song. Huh? Why did they say they sang as it were a new song? Because we can't all talk at the same time. We can't all talk together, but we can all sing together, can't we? And you notice, they even had a song that says, sing, choirs of angels. Sing in exaltation of that one that you all been prophesying to come. Now he's here. Huh? Ain't my fault because you don't believe I'm the Son of Man. I don't care what you think. I showed you many proofs. Wasn't my fault because you didn't pay no attention. Am I clear? People run around here prophesying about who's going to come kill me. I'm still here. Too bad you didn't have the faith in Allah that you put in white people. He frightened you into thinking that he had all power. Well, I've been here for 40 years, proving that he ain't got all the power. If he had all the power, I'd have been dead. I bet you won't get up and talk like me. You can't even get up and quote me. Malcolm X and all of them tried to get up and quote the messenger and fell on their face like foolish Peter. Lord, if it's you, call me out to the. And even when Jesus called him out and he saw himself walking, he couldn't believe it. I didn't hear you. And he started sinking, didn't he? Somebody, if it's you, call me to you. I walk on faith in the word of God. That's called walking on water. But anyway, the messenger told you. He said, this trumpet that I'm warning you about, it don't just come from the mouth. It passes through a mechanical instrument. See this microphone I'm talking through and these telephones? And these computers, that's the mechanical instruments. I didn't hear you. Listen.
Call easy sound because they're coming from man's mouth. The other trumpet is not heard directly from the mouth. It passes through some mechanical instrument. That's the kind of trumpet I'm warning you to be aware of. They're lifting it up now.
And what do you tell people? Hey, send me the link, man. Ain't that what you call it? Well, he was talking about links for you, even a internet. I will send you Elijah the prophet before the coming of the great and dreadful day of who?
The Lord.
Okay. Did Elijah come before me or after me? He came before me, didn't he?
Yes, sir.
He even told you. He said, there ain't nobody coming behind me but God. I better tell you that. Now, look what I'm doing here. The first one to explain to you what God actually means is standing here talking to you. And nobody else explained that to you. Huh? No man knows the Father but the Son. Neither any man the Son but the Father. I and my Father are one. I'll show you an example. No, that's the same as saying no one knows the irresistible force but the immovable object. And no one knows the immovable object but the irresistible force. And the irresistible force and the immovable object are one. I did. Well, the book says that. And the force was with God. I didn't hear you. Well, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. Huh? All right. What are we? We are beings. Why do we say we are beings? It is because whatever we think, we become. You say, I have become a doctor. I have became a scientist. Well, how did you do that? Well, I received certain knowledge, and that knowledge, when it went into me, said be, and I came forth out of there like any baby. The life germ of the father goes in, fertilizes the egg, and at a certain point, that baby, that new thing that was fertilized, it comes forth. And, you know, to bring it into existence, it said be. You say, will you be my wife, or will you be the woman say, yes, I'll be your wife. And you say, I'll be your husband. Well, then they get together and they say, let's make a baby. And they say, okay, when? Right now. Now they saying be, right? And then when the baby come out, the baby be and came. I didn't hear you. So, oh yeah, I can do things with the language you can't do. I make you think on a different level. Make you understand that what we are beings. We are beings because whatever we are thinking at any particular point, we are in a state of being that. Do you understand? It's just like we used to tell each other all the time. We hey man, hey homie, be cool, man, be cool. And then we sit there and be cool. Is that right? Is that right? So we just say be, and there it is. Is that right? And when he decrees a matter, he only says to it be. And it is. So let's get back here to this. I want to, you notice that, that Congresswoman, she's no dummy. If you really heard her, you heard her give credit to President Obama along with Joe Biden. Because the salvaging and the securing of the automobile industry didn't start with the Biden presidency. It started with the Biden-Obama presidency. Do you understand? President Biden just shored it up, made it stronger. Do you understand? Yeah. If you had put even Hillary Clinton, you would never have known what bullet you dodged by not putting Donald Trump in the White House. But now you know what you could have dodged if you hadn't put that fool in the White House. Huh? It's just like I tell people all of the time. I don't know how many times my life has been spared since I became an active member of the Nation of Islam and now the new Nation of Islam. Because what I would have been doing if I had not accepted the truth that the messenger of God brought. Since I know many of those who I grew up with are not on this side of the ground any longer, it is safe for me to assume that if I had still been running with them, I'd be in the ground too. You see, that's the wonderful thing about being in a secure place. You never know what you were spared because you never saw it. Because you were in a safety, a place of refuge, a place of safety. All of you who trust in me and follow my instructions, if you're not careful, you'll start thinking that everything is mellow, everything's cool. But everything ain't cool. It's still fire out here. It's just like these people walking around here in this pandemic talking about they through with it. I'm through with it. I ain't never heard such stupidity. When polio and all of them other viruses was wreaking havoc on this country, and I think polio lasted this country for a long time. Yet, what don't hear it no more. Until the scientists told them that. You understand? You got fools walking around here, just like the Holy Quran told. It says, the day you see it, every pregnant one will lay down her burden. And there used to be a time when women, when they would get pregnant, they were happy. They would say, and they would all be happy. Isn't it? They baby. Huh? Why? She ain't got no respect for you. She know you a coward, man. What kind of man arms himself to the teeth to go and shoot somebody that's unarmed. Nothing but a coward. It's just like I was looking at this young lady. I got quite a bit to share with you this evening. They had this reenactment of a massacre of black people that took place in Florida in a town called Rosewood. And this young lady, I don't know if she's purely white or mixed, but she could pass. And she was on there. Her name is Bailey Sarian. And she's getting on them. She's telling on them how they make up a lie to justify murder. Make up a lie. I mean, they had cedar trees that when they cut them down, they could see the pretty rose like inside of them. You know, he ain't never been the brightest, sharpest knife in the deck. Now you see, as they cut down pine trees and whatnot, you will also see them replanting trees so that in the next 5-10 years, they got them trees back. You understand? They've learned to harvest and replant. Them people cut down all them cedar trees and didn't replant nothing. I mean, this is how dumb they was back in the 20s. Do you hear me? How in the world a man that's that dumb gonna wind up flying faster than sound 50 years later without any help? No, he stole everything he got. He stole it. But anyway, that's what the book says. Your adversary, the devil, came for to steal, to kill, and to destroy. So, but that's what we made him for. Because we wanted to get to a wiser black man. Look, if you say that's not true, how do you explain me? Who have you heard come to try to argue with me and win? Well, then greater is he that's in me than he that's in the world. That's written. The messenger told me, he said, when he was talking about me, he said, he grew into the scientific knowledge of the number 6. He said, and we couldn't overtake him then. It's just like when he was talking about our number being 6. And he said, naturally, the beast couldn't have another number other than ours because he came from us. Do you understand? So he said, but our 6 goes into trillions and trillions and septrillions. He said, and his 6 only goes into 1 year, 2 years, 1,000 years, 6,000. What is 6,000 compared to a trillion? It's nothing. And then if you add 7/10 of them trillions, then you can hardly find a second in time for him. But why is our number 6? I'm the first one that explained it to you. It is because we don't just have 5 senses. We have a 6th sense that's broken up into 2 parts, which you would call a 7th sense too. We have the ability to reason. a sense of reason, which makes our number. We was created on 6. You know, the animals got the 5 senses, but they don't have the ability to sit down and reason or create. We have the ability to create. Do you understand? And so our 6, I grew into the knowledge of it. That's talking about our senses. We are the sum total of our parts. And so our parts add up to 6. You know, without the senses, we are in a vegetative state. Is that right? But with our senses, we can exercise dominion over the universe. Because we are able to reason. Other things are created in a state that they cannot change. They have to remain what they are. We don't. We are constantly, man is constantly in a state of being or becoming. I didn't hear you. That's a wondrous thing, except those who are proud. And because they limit themselves, then by putting limits on themselves, they profess a disbelief in God, because they make something impossible. You see, in their mind, they accept that certain things are impossible. And when you accept that, you accept that truth has a limit. And there is no limit on truth any more than there's a limit on this universe. It's like people that think that there's, just because there are 8 letters in the scale: do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. The first and last do's is the same note, but just higher, a higher pitch. Do you understand? Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, re, and on up. It just keeps going up and up and up. Like the number system. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3, 9, 9, 1, 0, 0. Just keep on going to a higher 1. Do you understand? Endlessly. And if you cannot, understand that, it's just like if someone asks you to count to the end of the number system. The end of the number system is 1. It's always 1. The beginning of it is 1, and the end of it is 1. I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the ending. Say He, Allah, is what? Allah is 1. The only independent number in the universe is 1. All other numbers depend on 1 to remain what it is. Take 1 away and that number don't exist. So all praises due to Allah. So we have lots of proofs that we can give of who we are. One of the greatest proofs I have is you have yet to produce a mind equal to the mind that's in me. Where's your equality with me? I'm the only one to understand the Holy Scriptures. The only man on this planet that understands the Holy Scriptures is standing here talking to you, which means that the Holy Scriptures is the highest knowledge on earth. And if I'm the only one who understands it, then I'm the Most High. So, see how I put things that nobody could put them the way I put them in. When I put them a certain way, there ain't no way you can argue with it. You can't say things like that. Because no matter what you know, there's somebody else out there that know what you know. Ain't nobody else that know what I know. So the messenger warned you about me talking to you through this mechanical instrument here. He said, that's the trumpet that I'm going to warn you to be aware of. That's what he told him.
Through some mechanical instrument. That's the kind of trumpet I'm warning you to be aware of. They're lifting it up now. Don't forget that you're in that has been kept hidden from you by the enemy of the time.
You know that at the end of his time, he didn't know that we wasn't planning on killing him. He thought that destroying him meant committing genocide on him. It never was. That was never the plan. The scripture said on you would be a curse until the day of judgment. Well, if at the day of judgment, if it meant you was going to be killed, then it was going to stay on you all the way. So, not just until the day of judgment, it was going to be on you even in the day of judgment if you didn't have no hope of being spared. But it does not give the Lord any pleasure to see the wicked destroyed, but rather that all of those who practice wickedness would repent. Then they don't have to be destroyed. But now you want to keep on doing your evil, even while I'm here looking at you. Okay, you keep on. You'll be just like these foolish people who's standing right in front of a camera doing crazy stuff, and you trying to figure out, can he see everybody looking at him? Derek Chauvin saw everybody looking at him. Did that change anything? I didn't hear you. You see, when Allah intends to destroy you for your evil, He lets you strip naked in front of the whole world so everybody will see why what is happening to you happens. You see? You know, you con men always think everybody's stupid but them. Yep. So I want to tell you, many people talk about power. You know, in the Declaration of Independence, they have a passage in there that says that we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal and are endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights. You know what an inalienable right is? It is rights that every human being can never willingly relinquish, never give up. Fear may make them pretend to go along with you, but even that will not last forever. Because the more they fear, the more first they hate you. And then when they look at themselves in the mirror, they hate themselves for being afraid. There is not a person who gets bullied that does not hate the bully and does not hate themselves for being afraid of the bully. Do you understand? Until pretty soon, your hatred of yourself and your hatred of that bully fills you up so much till you say something like what Fannie Lou Hamer said. Remember, she said, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. Huh? Why? Because the Creator has endowed us all with an unwillingness to be enslaved. That's what that Declaration of Independence was telling you. The certain inalienable rights, rights that no one, even if they want to, they can't give it up. That is the right to life, liberty, which is freedom, and the right of self-determination to pursue that which would make them happy. Huh? So, knowing that, people who think that they have taken power over other people have deceived themselves. They started off with the deception of themselves. You don't take power over other people. They give you that. You might have tricked them into giving it to you. But make no mistake, they gave it to you. Did you hear me? Now, the wise know that. The devil didn't say he took power. It's just like when the book says the Lamb took the book out of the hand of him that sat on the throne. I couldn't have took it if he hadn't gave it to me. Do you understand? I'm trying to show you something here. If it says, thou hast taken to thee thy power, well, that's my inheritance. And at a certain time, I was supposed to take my inheritance from the hand that Allah sent to give it to me. Do you understand? But I couldn't just walk up of my own initiative and take it. It had to be given to me. It's just like in Luke. Turn to Luke, the 4th chapter, and look what the devil said. I'm going to let you hear it from his mouth in a minute. But First, I want you to hear it from the scripture. This is the 5th verse of the 4th chapter of Luke. And the devil, taking him up into an high mountain, showed unto him all the kingdoms of the world in a moment of time. And the devil said unto him, all this power will I give thee, and the glory of them, for that is delivered unto me. If it was delivered unto the devil, it was given unto him. Let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion. I didn't hear you. He didn't take dominion. It was given to him. The Lord give it. Finish it.
And the Lord take it away.
All right then. I mean, let's just be frank here. He was given dominion for 6,000 years. That's what that. You notice the crescent and the star hanging from that sword. That's not the proper position for a crescent, is it?
No, sir.
Unless it's bowing. Huh? The word of God is the sword. S-W-O-R-D. S spoken, W-O-R-D. Word. And God said, let's make them in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. And so the sun and the moon and the stars were made subservient to him. Do you understand? And so that was his authority there. You notice he always used the star as his symbol of authority for the police and all of that. He put a star on his chest, and he's the prince of darkness. He can't put the sun on there. He put the star on it. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now, as he's exercised that according to the word, that's what the string is. The string is he can be the puppet master for the next 6,000 years. He can have dominion over everything and do things his way. And that's what he's been doing. He made his own laws, and he wouldn't even abide by his own laws, but he was making them. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
And so he hear me. If I'm not right, how come he ain't stopping me and saying that? You see? But now the strings is cut. He ain't got no dominion over it now. Nope. Time is up. You on grace now. And soon that's going to run out on you. It's almost gone now. Because I'm looking at you acting like drunken. You'd have thought that was a drunk man out there. People was filming him murdering a man. And he looked like he was enjoying taking the picture. Huh? Yeah. You got people stealing and on camera. Got them on camera, taking money out the cash register. And they know the camera is up there. Well, what is that? Thou will see men as drunken. But they won't be drunken. But the chastisement of Allah will be severely on them. Allah can send hosts against you that you see not. That's why the scientific community told us they don't know what the long-term effects of COVID-19 is, but it does affect the brain. They have told us that. And all you have to do is look at all these people that's just unreasonable. Just unreasonable. Why would you get on the airplane and the people who own that airline have rules that in this pandemic you got to put a mask on and keep it on as long as you're on the plane? Huh? Okay. If you don't want to wear the mask, well, you don't have to fly. Take another route. But you don't get on there and say this is a public place here, and I don't have to wear no mask if I don't want to wear. No, it's not a public place. That's a private airline that's doing business with the public, which means that the airline has the say-so over how you conduct yourself on their airline. That shouldn't have to be explained to you. But now, you've been out there breathing in all of these. Many people think just because you ain't laying up like a fish out of water, that it's over. Did it ever occur to you that maybe Allah letting it mutate, and because it was designed to do that, to affect your brain, to mess your thinking up, so that there would be no salvation for you? Allah said, my advice will not profit you if I intend to give you good advice, if Allah intends to destroy you. Look at people who take the advice of strangers under a name like QAnon, under these names they got on the internet. They listen to people like Tucker Carlson, who done already said what he's doing is a show. The lawyer for Donald Trump, Sidney Powell, said no reasonable person would have believed her. She said it.
Yes, sir.
What do you call an unreasonable person that in this world that you don't consider to be insane? You consider them to be drunk. What, don't you?
Yes, sir.
You said, man, are you drunk? Why? Because what you're saying don't make no sense. Allah said in the 22nd chapter of the Holy Quran, he said in the 3rd verse, he says, and thou wilt see men as drunken. I think it's the 3rd verse, it might be the 2nd. It's the 2nd verse. It says, the day you see it, every woman giving suck will forget her suckling, and every pregnant one will lay down her burden, and thou wilt see men as drunken. You will see men acting as though they are drunk, but they will not be drunk. Not off of drugs. But the chastisement of Allah will be severely on them. So that's what you're seeing. You see people, just white and black people, just saying crazy stuff, doing crazy stuff. And you be trying to figure out what's wrong. I tell you what's wrong with them. Allah finna destroy them. No sense you trying to reason with them. If they won't listen to a scientist who has studied all of these things, what makes you think they're gonna listen to you? To show you that they're not thinking right. If they was thinking right, how in the world would they say we don't trust the scientists? We don't trust the medical people. Okay, I'll go for that. But when they get sick, they run to the hospital. Huh? Thought you didn't trust them. See, your mind already gone. Because if you didn't trust the doctors to tell you how to keep from getting sick, why you run to the hospital when you get sick? What's done changed? Your mind gone. Ain't nobody can reason with you, because that alone tells people something wrong with you. If I didn't trust the medical people, I would not go to the hospital once I got sick. I'd stay home. If I'm gonna die, I'd die at home. No sense in going down there. I can't trust them. I mean, that's what you, if you were sane, and that's what you would be saying. You don't trust them before you got sick, but when you get sick, now you put yourself in their hands. For what? Y'all some crazy folks. If I call you crazy, I can tell you why you're crazy. See, you can't answer that. What I just asked you. Just that. So you're insane. Now, let me let you hear this young lady here. Oh, but before that, I want you to see this little clip. Long time ago, my brother told me, he said, son of man, have you seen this series called Babylon 5? And I said, no. He said, you ought to check it out. And so I turned it on, and it really was interesting to me. And I got about a little 3-minute clip of one of the episodes here. And it's called The Exercise of Vital Power. And Ephraim Zimbalist Jr. is, he got a small part in there where he talks about, see, he's a multinational, he's the head of a multinational corporation, and he's just filthy rich. And he's given Garibaldi a lesson in power. And he tells Garibaldi, you don't take power. I mean he straightens Garibaldi out, because Garibaldi was sitting there and that people take power over people. You don't take power over people. People give you power over them. Do you understand? Because it's impossible to take it. That's an inalienable thing that all human beings have. They have a will. And they will either they will submit themselves to do your will, or they will not. Do you understand? Now, listen to this conversation, and watch how Ephraim Zimbalist Jr. he tells Garibaldi about power and why some people they get it because people are willing to do their bidding even when it's wrong, and people who supposed to be for right are too afraid to stand up for the principles that they claim to believe in. Do you understand? And with that, it reminded me of the last words of the Star-Spangled Banner. The last words of the Star-Spangled Banner is a question. A song ends with a question. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave. Does that Star-Spangled Banner still wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? Or have they become a bunch of sorry cowards who allowed themselves to be frightened into slavery? Who allowed themselves to be mastered by fear. Brave means even though you have fear in you, you will not allow that fear to make you capitulate to tyranny. You will not allow that fear to be your master. You will stand tall anyway. And do and fight for what you know is right, regardless to the consequences. Do you understand? So, listen to this lesson in power.
How many people actually belong to the Nazi Party, the Communist Party, the Jihad Party? A very small number. But there are always plenty of other people who are happy to do the work for them. And others afraid enough to let it happen. In order for them to take power, they need an army. They're still laboring under the notion that people take power. Nobody takes power. They're given power by the rest of us because we're stupid or afraid or both. The Germans in 1939, the Russians in 1917 and 2013, the Iraqis in 2025, the French in 2112. They handed over power to people they thought could settle scores, get the trains running on time, restore their prestige. They did it because it was what they wanted. Afterwards, like children who have eaten too much candy after dinner, they denied it was their fault. And it was them. It's always them. Today, President Clark has the power, and we gave it to him because we're afraid of the aliens and afraid of ourselves.
You see, they know the truth. They know the truth. You was around here blaming this person, blaming that person. You gave Donald Trump the White House. You who voted and you who didn't. You gave these people in Texas and Georgia and all these crooks, you gave them the power to destroy your republic, your so-called democratic republic, and turn it into a petty dictatorship, what you used to call banana republics, because they were so easily overthrown by designing little petty-minded dictators who had delusions of grandeur and thought that they could rule the world. Only a fool thinks he can rule human beings through fear. That's a fool's errand. No, God didn't make us to be overcome by fear. That's why he gave us the ability to think. And that's why all dictators have always either once they died, it was over, or got overthrown, or whatever. The people just wouldn't take it no more. When you never should have let them get up there in the first place. Lazy. On the promise that one man could solve all the problems. No, one man can't solve the problem. One man can have the idea, but it takes a whole community to work together to solve the problem. The head can have the plan for building a house, but the head can't do it without the hands and the feet and all of the other members of the body. The head needs hands and arms and all of these members here to do it. Do you understand? You let these people talk to you like you just fell off the back of a turnip truck last night. You saw them trying to overthrow your government, and you sitting up there letting them get away with telling you that wasn't what you saw it was. They know who to jump up in the face of. I bet you that. So I'm telling you. See, they know the truth. When did Babylon 5 go off there? Back in 2001, 2002, somewhere around there.
It went off in 1997.
1997. Did you hear him explaining how power comes about? Don't no individual take power over humanity. Humanity gives it to him. If they stupid enough.
Excuse me, sir. I'm sorry. They aired one last season in '98 on another channel.
Okay, well, it's been gone for 24 years. You know, I got all of the series. You know, and I still watch them sometimes because there's wisdom in it. You don't let all of these sick people get up into your lawmaking body. And then you wonder why your country falling apart. You sitting up out there somehow thinking that it'll take care of itself. No, it won't take care of itself. Did this country establish itself? Or did patriotic people who wanted a better way, of white people that wanted to get out from under dictatorships, did they establish it? Well, the same thing it took to establish it is the same thing it's going to take to keep it. Now, you sitting up out there acting like it's going to be all right. No, it ain't going to be all right unless you make it all right. You know why these people are so brave to come out and threaten governors and all of them, threaten the scientific community? Is because all of the crooks, they the ones doing all of the woofing. And the so-called just-minded people sit back trembling and act like you scared to tell them to go to hell. Hell, I ain't gonna start nothing with you. But if you start something, we will finish it. With the help of Almighty God, Allah, we will finish you. Something I want all of you to remember. When right is on your side, God is on your side. And if God be for you, there ain't nobody who can be against you, not for long. Always remember that. Now, I'm going to let you see Miss Sarian here. Sarian, pardon me.
Hi, friends. Happy Wednesday or Thursday if you're watching over on YouTube. Hey, how are you doing? I hope you're having a wonderful day so far. My name is Bailey Sarian, and this is the Dark History Podcast. Woo! I need a theme song for Dark History, don't I? Anywho, I'm here to talk about some dark-ass history that we never learned in school. Or I should at least say that I never learned in school. If you're new here, hi, welcome. Come take a seat by me. Don't be shy. If you're interested in learning about...
You hear what she said? History that she never learned in school. Now, if you so great, all you white supremacists out there, if you're so great and you're so powerful according to you, why you don't want to tell your children the true history of what you've been doing? You know why? It's because you don't want to lose their respect nor their love, and you don't want them to turn on you. Because if you have your way, you will turn them into murderers and cowards, just like yourself. That's why you don't tell them what you've been doing. You know what the hippie movement was about? It was basically about white youngsters learning the truth of their low-down fathers and mothers.
people and events that your history books didn't cover in school, but maybe should have, then you'll fit in right in here with us. Okay, look, today's story, it's uncomfortable, okay? It's heartbreaking. It's sad. It's awful. It's sad. Those are all the words I can think of. It just doesn't make any sense. But with all of that being said, there's really like no sugarcoating this. This is what happened. And it's when we're honest and when we're transparent that we can learn and grow together, you know? But most of all, not let history repeat itself. So let's set the scene. It's New Year's Day, 1923, and many people are waking up from celebrating the new year. Some of them are still wearing a flapper dress or a suit, tired from dancing the night away in a jazz club, or maybe they're hungover from buying illegal drinks at a speakeasy. Yes, oh yes, it was still illegal.
Now, I'm gonna let her talk, but I want you to think back to the Nature Channel. Because the devil was compared to a lion. If you watch the Nature Channel, when they show you lions in their dens and with their cubs, they be rolling over and playing with them. Then they go right out and look for some little deer and its offspring to kill it and eat it. do you understand? Because the lion ain't got no conscience. He ain't got no sense of reason. He don't say, I love my babies. I'm not gonna go out here and take the baby of these other of my peers here. No, he don't feel nothing. He just go out there and do to others what he would not let or appreciate if somebody tried to make a meal out of his cub. Is that right? This is what you've been doing to us, white people. You did heinous crimes against us. You talk about Hitler doing crimes against humanity for 12 or 15 years. What about your 400 years of them against us? You don't say nothing. You don't want to say nothing about that, right? Won't even try to say it didn't happen. Don't talk about it. Why not talk about it? Why not? That old Byron De La Beckwith, remember him? He bragged about what he done to Medgar. No, ain't that nigga dead. Somebody killed him. Is that what he said? Martin Luther Coon. That's what they call him. Huh? You needn't worry. You ain't gonna have to kill me for trying to cozy up to you. I noticed the Honorable Elijah Muhammad got through this life without a bullet in his brain. Of course, he wasn't trying to follow you. I noticed during Black History Month, you don't even want to give reference to the man who taught you to be black instead of calling yourself Negro. How come you don't give credit to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad? Because white folks didn't say it. White folks didn't tell us about Elijah Muhammad. He was a hate teacher. Well, how come he don't come in there and tell me I'm a hate teacher in front of you and stay on that line? What have I said to you about white people or black people or any people that you found out was not true? What? Come on now, you're supposed to be saying that you said the white man is the devil. That ain't true. How come you don't come in there and tell me that's not true? And then while you're explaining it to me, I want you to answer this for me. Why did white people coin the phrase when they're talking about each other? He said, well, speak of the devil. And he talking about his brother there, his sister. Why did he say that? Poor devil. He's a daredevil. He's a handsome devil. He's a tricky devil. What's up, bub? As in Beelzebub? Honey. Ask him why did you call each other bub? Why we used to hear you calling each other bub all the time? Where you get that from? He stopped saying it because he heard me teaching on it. But he don't say that no more. And you walking around here talking about Black History Month. It used to be Negro History Week. There wasn't no Black History Month. It didn't get Black History Month until the Honorable Elijah Muhammad convinced all of you to stop calling yourself Negro. So, let's just tell the truth. Wasn't for the Muslims, if it was not for the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, you'd still be calling yourself Negro. Now, if that ain't true, come in here and tell me it ain't true. Okay.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
I just wanted to let you know that Russia is currently firing on targets in Ukraine.
Well, you're gonna have to remember something. Now, President Biden told us what Putin was getting ready to do. He told the whole world. He said he wasn't telling the truth. Said he was exaggerating. Is that what they said?
Yes, sir.
Well, was it an exaggeration?
No, sir.
When the intelligence community told you that Donald Trump was over there working with Putin against you. Now you finding out this the same intelligence community that's keeping President Biden informed. And it's so far, they've been right on. I didn't hear you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, you should have listened to him. You had patriots that was telling you that this man that you had for president did not mean you any good. And in so many words, they were telling you. And you didn't listen. Now your Senate and your House of Representatives is just full of treasonous people. Because you went to sleep on the watch and you gave them that power. You gave it to them. Now you'll find out how much you love or how little you love your country by what you do about it now that you know they are there. This next election should see a Democratic Senate and a Democratic House of Representatives. Period. Only way you're gonna have a true Republican Party is the true Republicans are going to have to vote Democrat and put Democrats all through there, and then they can get them out of there and just kick people out of the Congress that don't belong there. Do you understand? And then the Justice Department can do their job. Follow the evidence. When you see people who were willing to go along with trying to overthrow an election, that is treason, especially if you're in the government. And those who didn't rise up against it. They were too weak to be in your lawmaking body too. Get them all out of there. And start over with people who stood up for you. Anyway, just watch this history repeating itself.
Buy alcohol. Wild, right? Of course, though, that was more of like the upscale city vibe. If you were in the country, had little less pocket change to spend, or were too straight edge to visit like those kind of illegal joints, then you probably had a quieter evening of staying at home and ringing in the new year with your loved ones, you know? Now, 1923 in general, President Warren G. Harding would die in office. The Yankee Stadium would be built in the Bronx, and the original Hollywood sign would be built. Oh yeah, Hollywood was originally called Hollywoodland, but we could say that for another episode, babe. But before all of that, on the morning of January 1st, 1923, 30-year-old James and his 22-year-old wife, Fannie Taylor, woke up at a home in a town called Sumner, a neighboring community of Rosewood, Florida. That morning, James Taylor goes to work like he did any other day. But while James was at work, something happens to his wife, Fannie, that, boy, it just triggers a domino effect, a horrific domino effect. It leads to the murders of innocent people, the destruction of a town, and the displacement of an entire community, changing Rosewood forever. Ooh, this sounds dramatic. I know, because it is. Welcome. Hi. This episode, friends, we're going to be talking about the Rosewood Massacre. Have you heard of it? Yeah, exactly. This one it completely blew my mind. It's like, why in the Waldo did we not learn about this in school? Correction, I can only speak for myself here. So why in the Waldo did my history books not teach this? Rosewood Massacre? Yeah, it happened. Let's discuss and learn together what took place in 1923 Rosewood, Florida. Buckle in, kitty cats. This is just... What? Yeah, I'm great with words, obviously. That's why I started a podcast. The beginning. Great place to start. The town of Rosewood was established in the mid-1800s. White families had moved here prior to the Civil War, and Black landowners started to move in the 1870s. It's located in the state of Florida, and it's just 9 miles east of the Gulf of Mexico. The name Rosewood, it came from the red cedar trees that were all over the land there. Fun fact alert. Boop, boop, boop. Did you know that when you cut open a red cedar tree, the cedar has a pale pink color inside? Yeah, I guess it's like super pretty, super beautiful. But did you also know that if you cut me open, I've got a little pink inside? Ew. Anyways, so they called the town Rosewood after the pink color. Okay, nice, right? Well, as we've learned through history, we can't have nice things. So when people saw the really pretty color that was inside of these beautiful, incredible trees, what do you think they did? Yes, they cut them all down. They cut them down and they sold the lumber. Now, because of this, they made a pretty decent...
And didn't have sense enough to replant some more trees so they could cut it again. Do you understand? Okay, now just listen.
Amount of money, and it supported the economy of the town, but still, sad for the trees. By the year 1886, the town had developed quite a bit. It had its own post office, a schoolhouse, and there were 3 churches, 1 for the white people and 2 for the Black people. Remember, we're talking about a time that's very much a segregated America. So 4 years later, in 1890, the town began to hit some hard times. All the red cedar trees had been chopped down, and without the trees, there's no money to be made, which in turn leads to the town's economic decline. Because of the loss of income and not many available jobs, many members of the white community left Rosewood and headed to the nearby town of Sumner.
Now, before I let that go, there's a lot of things that crossed my mind while she was talking. But one church in the Rosewood, but 2 churches in Sumner. See, one of the means of keeping us divided has been churches. For each church got its own congregation. And they got their own preacher. And now, you know what they say, division is a shortcut to subtraction. So the more churches we had, the more divided our community is. Do you understand? If you say it ain't but one God, what you need all these churches for? It's because these people don't, not only do they not represent God, they don't know God. You found out, since I've been here, that none of these people that claim to be sent by God or called by God to preach, you know they're lying to you. Now that you know that God is an acronym for grantor of dominion, if they knew God, how come you ain't got dominion over poverty, dominion over all of this mistreatment that people are doing to you and whatnot? All they can teach you to do is go and picket and march and demonstrate and beg the very people who mistreating you to please stop. As bad as women that stay with a man that beat on them. And then you say, well, why don't you leave him? Well, he'll kill me if I leave him. He's going to kill you if you stay there. I mean, sooner or later, he's going to beat you to death, woman. But I love him. Yeah, now we got to the truth here. Yeah. Okay. You love somebody that don't love you? Okay. Go right ahead. Well, I'm so glad that I grew up loving people that I knew didn't care nothing about me. So I learned to do without it. So I treat people like I want to be treated, and if that don't make them have a little care for me, I leave them alone. That's why you do that. Because I ain't gonna stay with nobody that don't show me that they care about me. No. If I got to beg you to do something for me, no, I ain't gonna beg you to do nothing. I'm gonna get on away from you. That's what I'm gonna do. You ain't heard no white people tell you that I'm getting on their nerves. No, I ain't getting on white people's nerves, because I ain't going where they don't want me. I think too much of myself to be going someplace where people done told you they don't want you there. Don't you come here, nigga. No, you ain't got to say don't come here, nigga, to me, because I ain't going over there no way. I ain't got to go sit up in your nice restaurant. I'll build me one. Just as nice as yours. But only if you come to mine, I will show you how you should have treated me when I came over to yours. I will not become the flip side of you. No. It's like when I visited Geno Jennings and they didn't have sense enough to be courteous and respectful just because they didn't agree with me. That's no reason to be disrespectful. So I told them, when you come visit me, I will show you how you're supposed to treat your guests. I'm a civilized man. I'm not somebody who see I got you outnumbered or whatever and then take misadvantage of you. No, I'm not. And if I ever have a guest and people that's supposed to be my followers or be with me, you better not disrespect my guests. You will treat them with the same courtesy that you would expect if the shoe was on the other foot. You don't have to love people to treat them like you want to be treated. But you do have to love right. Because it's the love of right is what makes you do right. And now here this young lady, she's telling the truth. And whatever she understands of what happened. But it didn't surprise me that when they done cut down all of their means of making a living in Rosewood, they went over to Sumner where black people was, because I know what was going to be next. They're going to move them out of there and take over that place. Do you understand?
Was appealing because there was a large sawmill which provided tons of jobs. And right now, the people needed work. So sign me up for Sumner, you know? So by the year 1900, the Rosewood population had now shifted to a majority Black community. Now within Rosewood, there was a really close sense of community. Like everyone seemed to know one another and looked out for one another as well. I mean, rarely did anyone need to leave town, like to travel for food or for things they may need, because they had almost everything right there within Rosewood. In addition to the 3 churches, schoolhouse, and post office, Rosewood also had a train station, which will become important later, a general store, and a sugar mill. Plus, if you were looking for some fun, they even had a Rosewood baseball team. What I'm getting at is Rosewood was overall just a nice place. So for over 20 years, the people of Rosewood stayed within Rosewood, and the people of Sumner, the neighboring town, they stayed within Sumner. They coexisted, they had their own communities going on, and they were just doing their own thing. But unfortunately, that peaceful time was about to end because some shit was a brewing. But before we get into what was a brewing, let's pause for a word from our sponsor. Things are kind of getting back to normal, I guess. Right? Yeah. But I swear to you, over quarantine, my brain has felt like mush and needs some exercise. I mean, it is a muscle, right? You know? Anyhow, with Best Fiends, it feels like my brain got a great workout. What's Best Fiends, you ask? Well, it's the mobile puzzle game that will put challenge to your noggin. Okay, remember, it's January 1st, 1923. Our young couple, now while James is at work milling saws, Fanny, who's... Okay, remember, it's January 1st, 1923. Our young couple, James and Fanny Taylor, who are white, are waking up on the first day of the new year. And James is like, goodbye, Fanny. Like, I'm off to work. I love you, babe. You know, and Fanny's like, oh my God, yeah, have a good day. Whatever. That's probably what they did. Anyway, so James leaves his wife, Fanny, home alone because he has to go to work. He works at the sawmill in Sumner, which was about 1 mile east of Rosewood. Now, while James is at work milling saws, Fanny, who's back at home, rumor had it, someone had attacked her. Oh yeah. The neighbors heard screams. They heard screams coming from within the Taylor's home. And they were like, oh my God, you know, like what's going on? Screaming. So for you and I, we'd probably go and like check it out, right? We'd be like, oh my God, they're screaming. Are you okay? But for Fanny's neighbors, they heard the screams and then they just left it alone. Great. Yeah. Awesome. So some time goes by and James comes home from work. And when he gets home, he sees that Fanny has a big bruise on her face. It's clear that somebody had hit her pretty badly. So he asks her, you know, who did this to you? And Fanny tells him that a Black man assaulted her. She's like, I don't know who it was, but it was definitely a Black man, according to Fanny. I mean, this could be possible. This guy came in, randomly beat her, I guess, in her own house. But remember, like, this is a small town. In fact, both Sumner and Rosewood were.
Now, one little part there that she didn't say. Fanny didn't say black man. She said a nigger. Do you understand? A nigger did this. Huh? Okay. Now the plot thickens.
So small that most people recognize one another. So, Are you sure, Fanny? Are you sure that's who you saw, Fanny? The fact that Fanny could not name the person who attacked her, that should have been the first red flag, okay? That maybe this person that quote unquote attacked her was not a resident from Rosewood. I'm telling you, I'm not kidding you. If you lived in Rosewood, you would know your neighbors. Everybody knew each other. But Fanny would most likely know this person because, again, the likelihood of her not knowing is pretty slim to none. So, sure, Fanny. Sure. Again, because it's the 1920s, unfortunately, this is a time when a white woman made bold claims of being attacked by a black person. Nobody questioned it. They just believed it to be true. So they didn't question Fanny's story for.
Well, first of all, it was not that they believed it to be true. It gave them an excuse to go and terrorize black people some more. Do you understand? They knew black men wasn't around there raping white women. Just like this stuff that they try to say now about black man did this, a black man did that to some white person. They lying. We ain't got no history of terrorizing white people. Terrorizing them how? With what? It's like that Dylan Roof character went in that church, found them people in prayer service and whatnot, and stand up there telling them before he murdered them, telling them that they raped white women and I got to do this. Who told him he had to do that? What was that, his initiation? Well, like I said, we sick and tired of you and your unjust actions against us. Now, we took it. We had to suffer it from you for 400 years. That time is up. We done had enough. I done had enough. And now, if you don't straighten up, the first thing gonna be taken from you is your mind. Then we certainly then don't have to worry about you planning anything. I know you don't believe it, even though you see it happening. You see people losing their mind, and you still don't believe me. Okay. Stick around, buddy.
Second, oh my God, she was beaten by a black man. We are so angry. And nobody wanted to double check and make sure she wasn't lying. They just went with it. People are talking within Rosewood, okay? And this story about Fanny gets back to a woman by the name of Sarah Carrier. And she's like, wait a minute. That's not true. Sarah said that she was at the Taylor's home the morning of that so-called attack. And not just that, but her granddaughter was there with her. And neither of them saw a black man attack Fanny, let alone even enter their house. Well, you're probably wondering, Bailey, who the hell is Sarah? Okay, well, Sarah, she had been working for the Taylors for quite some time. She was there that day with her granddaughter doing the Taylor's laundry. Now, Sarah said that she actually saw a white man leaving the Taylor house that morning. She said she never saw a black man come by the house all day. Now, get this. Sarah recognized this white man. She had seen him come by the house once or twice before. Sarah had believed that this man and Fanny were having some kind of winky dinky, if you know what I mean. Sarah said that this man was actually the guy that beat Fanny that morning and that she was just lying to cover her ass because she's probably having an affair and she doesn't want people to know. Fanny. So Sarah's version is now going around town. It's spreading like wildfire within the Black community. They all 100% believed her. Why would she lie? Why would she lie? Unfortunately, though, the white voices were louder within the community and made it very clear that Fanny was, quote unquote, not a liar. She was telling the truth. Okay? I freaking roll. Right? It gets a lot more traumatic. Talking amongst the accusers, a name comes up, Jesse Hunter. And they think, they're discussing, they're like, hey, Jesse Hunter, this is our guy. This is the guy who did it. Who's Jesse Hunter? Okay. Now, Jesse Hunter was a black man who recently...
Now they had to lie to justify what they want to go do. Do you understand? And, so that's been the history of them and us for the longest. In Oklahoma, it was a black man supposedly touched a white woman or tried to rape her in an elevator. And that's what set that off. Huh? Anytime they see black people in this country, every time they saw black people, they wouldn't let you come in their places. They wouldn't let us participate in anything that they had. And if we start doing better and building up something for ourselves, they didn't like that either. Huh? So you're damned if you do and damned if you don't. And that's been our lot ever since we've been in this country. Then they created a privileged class to make it appear that we could be upwardly mobile. When you notice, we got lots of black millionaires in this country. But it don't help us. It don't help the majority of our people. I didn't hear you. Because if they dare to try to help and start coming back trying to talk to the masses of black people to try to educate us into getting up out of this poverty-stricken condition, then they do you like they done Bill Cosby. I didn't hear you. See, they didn't like it because Bill Cosby was going around this country talking to our people about common sense things about, look, sister, how can you afford to pay $100 and something for a pair of tennis shoes for your child when you know you can't afford that? Why would you go and do that? Just for the sake of a name. And you're wasting monies that could have been better spent on something more useful for your son or daughter. But they didn't like that. And so they trumped up a bunch of charges against him. And you saw what happened. Let me tell you something. This is the day and time where this stuff must end. And it will end one way or the other with everybody being changed for the better, or the majority of people being destroyed. That is your choice. Change or be destroyed. When the wicked spring as the grass, like they are now, and the workers of iniquity just flourish, it is that they shall be destroyed forever. That's the promise of Allah. And Allah always keeps his promises. Now you fix it however you want to. Allah promised that, behold, I will send you Elijah the prophet before the coming of the great and dreadful day of the Lord. And before that, he said, remember ye the law of Moses, which I commanded him in Horeb for all Israel, for all of the sons of Jacob, and the statutes and judgments. Why remember that? Because that's what's going to judge you in the last day. Jesus told you. He said, if any man hear my words and believe not, I judge him not. For I came not to judge the world, but to save the world. He that believeth not on me and receiveth not my words has one that will judge him. The words that I have spoken, the same shall judge him in the last day. What is the words that Jesus spoke? The same as the words that Isaiah spoke, the same as the words that Ezekiel spoke, the same as the words that Jonah spoke, the same as the words that Malachi spoke, the same as the words that Moses spoke, the same as the words that Muhammad spoke, the same as the words that Jeremiah spoke, the same as Amos, the same as Hosea, the same as all of the messengers of God, David and Solomon. Well, where's the words that they spoke? They're in these books here. Holy Bible. Holy Quran. It's in these books. Son of man. Yes, sir. Take the book and eat it up. Study it. Commit it to heart. Now go out there and speak with the words that's in it. The words that, what did Jesus say? The word that I have spoken, the same shall judge them in the last day. That's this Savior's Days theme. The great and dreadful day of the judgment of the world is now. How many of you all don't believe that I am the Son of Man? Come in here and tell me and the listening audience why I'm not the Son of Man. Come in here and tell us all. I promise. I'm gonna let you tell it. I'm gonna let you tell it. Anybody got their hand up?
No, sir. No one has their hand raised.
Anybody?
No, sir. No one has their hand raised.
Brother Jamal?
No one has an argument, but you did a question here, but it's on a different topic.
What is the question? What is
London Chapman asks, is chapter 21, verse 39 and 40, what is happening to us human beings at this time?
You talking about in the Holy Quran? Chapter 21, verse 40?
39 and 40.
Let's see here. If those who disbelieve but knew the time, this is something that I can go on and teach on. But isn't it wonderful that this young lady who looks white is telling you and me that she knows that her people have been wrong? Now, what would you do with her, since you hate all white people? See, that's where you start leaving what you claim to believe in. When Abram met with the angels, and the Lord told Abram, he said, shall I hide from my friend Abraham what I'm about to do? Seeing that he's going to become a great nation and that he will do what is right. He said, I'm on my way to Sodom to see if the cry of it is as bad as I done heard. Huh? That do away with this spookism about God knows everything. No, God knows everything that he teaches. And he knows how to find out what he don't know. Do you understand? So he told Abram, he said, I don't believe in collateral damage. If I find any righteous there, I will spare it for their sake. Huh? That's what it all boiled down to. Right? Okay. So this is, it's just like I look at Joe Biden. What would you do with him? Here this man has tried to do, he gained power. He was given power, and he did not use it corruptly. He used it for the benefit of the whole country. Huh? You have to judge people as individuals. That's the one thing about your individuality is undisputed. Even people who look like identical twins, when you fingerprint them, you see that they are individuals. We are as unidentical as snowflakes. Huh? Everyone is an individual. And you must, in order to give justice, you cannot judge fathers by what their children do, or mothers by what their children do, and you cannot judge children by what their parents did. Do you understand? You must judge every individual by his or her works, his or her deeds and actions, his or her words. Do you understand? When you saw in, where was that, Wisconsin? When they was having their Black Lives Matter protest, it was more white people out there marching than black people. Wasn't that where it was? With George Floyd's murder?
Yes, sir.
So, you have to be careful that your emotions don't cloud your reason. There's not a white person or a black person that's listening to me right now that if they would be truthful would say that they don't trust me to give them justice. You who don't trust that I would give you justice, unmute your phone and tell me why not. I mean, if you can, look, let me show you how to prove I'm not the Son of Man. If you have a justifiable reason that you don't think that I would be just to you, then I'm not fit to be your judge. A judge cannot be swayed by personal feelings. If you're going to don the mantle of rulership and judgment over people, you cannot be partial in your judgments. You must be impartial. You must be one who does not look at the flesh, but the deeds. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad, he raised me to a level of consciousness that he knew I would grow past looking at the flesh. Because since all people came from black people, then when you look at all people, you are looking at black people. You are just looking at different types of black people. Did you hear me? Good example. When you look at infrared and ultraviolet light, aren't you looking at sunlight? When you look at the spectrum of the sunlight, the visible and invisible, it's all sunlight. I remember Yaqub when he was making his people, the instructions that he left was he had promised them that if they followed him, now these were black people, he said, I will make you rulers over the original people. And this is how you go about it. You take, every time a brown baby or a lighter baby is born, you take him and put him off the side and tell the parent, that their baby is going to be a great man one day. And if a black one is born, tell the nurse to take the baby and tell the mother that the baby is going to be taken to heaven and prepare a room for her when she comes. And then feed the baby to wild beasts or give it to the cremator to burn it. You know, that's basically what he said. Kill the black one and save the brown one. Then when you get an all brown race of people, took 200 years to get, you know, you keep breeding the lighter one with the light one, then you took 200 years to get an all brown race. And you notice all of them got this in common. If you look at the history of the Japanese, the brown race, they, you call them Japanese. When you look at their history, you see that they considered themselves the chosen of God, or their emperor, Emperor Hirohito. Whenever their emperor came out, everybody would bow, no matter where you was. If he walked outside, everybody would bow. And so, you know, they was taught from the time they was babies that they was a great nation. Same with the Chinese. They was taught the same thing. The yellow man. And so from that, Yaqub told them, now when you become unalike, notice the words, when you become unalike. Because remember now, this is the black man's seed, the black man's offspring. So he was just bleaching us out. The Holy Bible calls it, it says, to a nation scattered and peeled. The reason we say peeled is because if you scrape your skin, you can be black as tar. You scrape your skin, you see right up underneath there what they call the quick, and it's white. Do you understand? Okay. So we call them a peeled nation, scattered and peeled. You know, we scattered them all over the earth, and they, you know, they look white. So we say peeled. But Yaqub, he said, when you become, now he's talking to black people. When you become unalike, then go back among the original people. And tell your wives, rent rooms from them, and tell your wives and your children to come back and say you heard them talk to the neighbors and tell them that last night I heard them talking about you. It's talking about you bad, you know, just, and that will turn them against each other. He said, then this was before the Holy Quran and before the Holy Bible existed. If an unrighteous person brings you news, look what? But that didn't exist at that time. Do you understand? Okay, so Yaqub was telling them how to divide and conquer. And so he told them, and once you got them fighting with each other, if they will then tell them, let you mediate it. And if they let you mediate, you can rule them both. And so when you look at white people, you are actually looking at a kind of a black man. Notice he calls himself mankind. Man of what kind? He's just another man that's a kind of a man that you can get out of black people. Do you understand? He's mankind. The yellow man is a kind of man that you can get out of black people. The brown man is a kind of man that you can find in the life germ of black people. The black man ain't no mankind. He's not no kind of a man from another man. The black man is the original man. Do you understand? Okay. So I'm just reproving what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught. He taught you this. He told you this. Now I'm verifying that he told you the truth. Huh? Okay. So if all of us came out, if everybody came from the black man, then everybody is the black man. I didn't hear you. Well, what makes us different? The knowledge that we have in our head. That's why Jesus gave us the answer to that. He said, whosoever doeth truth, the same as my mother and my brother and sister. And then he defined devil. He said, ye are of your mind, your father, the devil. And the lust of your father, the desires of your wicked mind, is what you will do. You see, because that's what the one who taught you was about. He was a murderer from the beginning. The first murder, you notice, even with the making of them, murder came into it. Huh? They murdered the black baby and saved the brown. They murdered the brown and saved the yellow. They murdered the yellow and saved the white. I didn't hear you. Okay, murder. He was a murderer from the beginning and abode not in the truth. Now you find that in the Bible, in the story of Cain and Abel. Cain murdered his brother. And when the Lord said to Cain, where's Abel, your brother? He said, I know not. Am I my brother's keeper? He had never answered like that before. Well, all of a sudden, now you got to get upset because I asked you where your brother is. What have you done? That's what the Lord asked. What you done did? So the Lord cursed him and cursed the ground. It told him, it says, the ground shall no longer, the earth shall no longer yield her strength to you. You know, that's why when he plants stuff, he got to get pesticides and stuff to keep the insects from eating it up. Because he just been, all kind of stuff been happening to him. But anyway, he's been doing his thing for 6,000 years. And now the time for him to do that has expired because the Lord himself has come. And that's me. The prophets, they were servants of the Lord himself. And that's what they told you. The Lord himself couldn't come before time. So he sent servants. And they brought the word of the Lord in parts. And so all of the time, this mind that's in me was being established as a course of study. Paul kind of hinted at it when he said, I have kept the faith. I have completed the course. And I have kept the faith. And now, therefore, is a crown laid up for me. Huh? Okay. Paul finished the course that he was sent with. Jesus finished the course that he was sent with. He said, Father, I have finished the work that thou gavest me to do. Do you understand? You see, in order to produce a first graduate, you have to first complete the courses of study that will produce that graduate. So that's what all of the prophets did. They were my tutors. And Elijah prepared me to be taught by them. You see? He gave me keys, and then he said Allah means all of us. And He said, if you want to talk to Allah, if you want to talk to all of us, he said, read the Quran and read the Bible. And as I read the Bible and read the Holy Quran, I discovered that it was all written to me. They addressed me like a father addresses his son. Do you understand? Okay. So, boy, that was a quick 3 hours. Gracious. Time sure go fast, no? But anyway, I want you to remember to look at the human beings on this earth for what and who they are. And remember that every creature that God made was good for what he made it for. And it serves the purpose for which he made it. Do you understand? When you understand that, then you understand why, regardless of how you may think that I should want some revenge on the devil, I don't need no revenge on him for doing what God said he was going to do. The only thing that's going to get him in trouble now is if he don't stop his work as he was commanded to do when I got here. Do you understand? That's why they're suffering now. That's why they're losing their minds now. That's why they're losing their country now. It's because they're trying to keep on doing the evil that they've been doing before I got here. The word of God said that whosoever doeth any evil work in the Sabbath day shall be put out of their mind. They're going to be put to death. Huh? I mean, what is, tell me this. How is it wise for Russia to be attacking Ukraine while all of the nations is condemning it? I mean, it's not like Russia is the USSR now. It's not no Union of the Soviet Socialist Republic now. It's just a little country. Well, you gonna go against the whole world? Being put out of their mind. I'm just telling you. Do you honestly think that the United States, France, all of the nations of the UK, the European Union, they're going to stand by and watch you thumb your nose at them while attacking a sovereign nation and they told you not to do it? Do you honestly think they're going to just let you do that? You forcing a hand that you ain't going to like the end of. They remember Hitler. And they remember that they failed and it almost cost them their lives because they failed to stop him before he got rolling good. Huh? I don't think they're going to let you repeat that. But I think that it's almost too late for him now because, I mean, look who called him smart. Donald Trump called him smart. Donald Trump said he was wise. That's a wise move. How is it a wise move to put the whole world against you? And for the whole world to be justifiably against you. Now, it's one thing for the world to be against you, but if you're right, God is with you. But when you are aggressing on a sovereign nation and you call yourself drawing up their borders for them so you can justify aggression on them, God ain't with you. The truth won't help you do an unjust thing. So you have to lie. I mean, if you was planning on invading when President Biden was standing up there saying that Russia or Putin is planning on invading Ukraine, they said that wasn't true. Well, didn't it? Well, if you said it wasn't true, what you doing now? You're proving that it was true. Which means that you was lying. You would think that he would say that, huh? Not if this virus then took its course inside of him. I mean, you ain't gonna be thinking straight. Ain't none of you gonna be thinking straight after a while. I'm just warning you. I told you. No nation can hasten its time, and no nation can postpone its time. When your time has come, that's the end. I don't know what that is, but when your time is up, it's up. If you don't stop, Allah will stop you. So we off the air up there, so you can let me hang that up. Y'all hold on a minute.
FM 88.1 WHPR, Highland Park,
Just a minute.
WVIE 10.
Show are not necessarily the views and opinions.
Okay. All right. Now. Okay, now. So I'm telling you, it is time now that you take the word of God seriously. If you do not, you do so to your own peril. You know what they call it when a judge orders something and makes it official and you disobey the order? It's called contempt of court. And this is something they teach you in this world, that if you are found in contempt of court, you do so to your own peril. It ain't Mike gonna cause you trouble. It's gonna cause you trouble. You understand? Okay. All right. I tell you what, it's a lot of people that I done threatened. Or it's a lot of people out there that I have said things to that got on my nerves, and I told them about it. And all of you that nothing happened to you, if you listening now, unmute your phone and tell the people that they don't have to worry about it if I threaten them with anything. Unmute your phone and tell them that. I mean, since I ain't nobody, I mean, you shouldn't have to worry about nothing I say. Brother, don't refuse to unmute people. Let them come. Let them say it. Who's in there? Somebody got their hand up?
No one has their hand raised, sir.
Brother Jamal? Anybody typing something?
No, sir.
You know, all of you that's out there saying I ain't nothing, then it should not frighten you to come in here and tell people that I ain't nothing. Ain't no sense in thinking that they ain't listening. You know they listening because you know how people used to come in here and talk crazy to me. I couldn't get on the air quick enough before they out there talking crazy. Is that right? What happened? I did warn them, didn't I tell them that this wasn't going to go forever? Huh? If I had not came and spoken unto you, you wouldn't have been blamable. But you see, I not only stood up and verified the things that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught. Any of you that say that I hadn't verified what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught, name something that he taught or bring it up that I have not proved that it was true. What? Name it. He even told you about the coming of the Son of Man. He told you what to look for. I mean, it's not like let me see here. I'll show you what I mean. It's like when he told you that Allah is a man. Let me show you.
I want to talk with you for a fact that God was not man. While he knows it's just the lie that the devil told us that God was not man. While he knew better, but he didn't want Allah. Allah is a man. He have even gotten some of the Orthodox Muslims believe in such lies. He's not a man. The Holy One teach you of them, saying that the messenger believes it. But I don't see you in no such argument when I know you don't know what you're talking about.
If the scripture says, the Holy Quran says Allah, huh? Okay. Said, and the word was made flesh and dwelt among us, and we beheld his glory. The glory as of the only begotten of the Father, full of grace and truth. You see, it's like the question that they ask in physics. What happens when the irresistible force comes in contact with the immovable object? Well, if you understand what force and object means, then you understand that when the irresistible force comes in contact with the immovable object, they become one. And that's what makes the immovable object immovable, is that the irresistible force is within it. I didn't hear you. Well, that's what made me Allah. The word, the truth, took up residence in me. Do you understand? So the word is clothed now in a garment that have to stay dipped in blood. He was clothed with a vesture dipped in blood. Flesh has to stay dipped in blood in order to remain flesh. Take it out of blood and it will turn to dust. I didn't hear you.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, if the word became flesh, then God became man. I didn't hear you. And so the messenger told you. He said, Allah is a man. What man is he? The Son of Man. That's what the book says. That's what the messenger told you. He said,
Greetings to you. I'm Elijah Muhammad, the preacher of freedom, justice, and equality to you, my poor black people who has been lost in the wilderness of North America for the last 400 or more years. You, my dear beloved brothers and sisters that is listening to my voice on this album, I would that you pay good. Our subject is the judgment. Judgment has been taught, and we have been warned that it is a day coming that we all will, and whosoever Allah have mercy upon, that person have a great reward bestowed upon him. Because we live in a world guided by an enemy, the devil himself. Therefore, being lost from our own people, wherein there was no one to help us. A very pitiful condition. Our fathers fell in when captured by our enemy, the open devil, and our own trial before the God who will judge us all. The Son of Man, both Bible and Holy Quran declares he will be a man, a son from a man, Son of Man. Not a formless spirit that the scientists of religion have given this name. So that judge on that day, the day of judgment in which we now live, will be a man. A man can judge between man and man because their nature is alike. Any man cannot judge our affairs, nor guide us in the right way that we.
when you look, it bears 6th and 27th verse. Hath life in himself, so hath he given to the Son to have life in himself, and have given him authority. Understanding. Authority is understanding. To execute judgment also, because he is the Son of Man. Who will judge? The Son of Man. That's what he told you. So I'm not I'm not doing anything but bearing witness, bringing you plain truth. Those who was in the nation when I came in, I'm not surprised. You remember when Brother Donald told you all that I had been telling him I'm the Son of Man, and he kind of chuckled and, he didn't believe it. Remember?
Yes, sir.
But I'm not responsible to make you believe that I'm the Son of Man. But I am responsible to make sure I told you that that's who I am. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Now, if you have some evidence that will show me that I'm not, then show it to me so I can stop deceiving myself. Because I don't know of no evidence that says I'm not the Son of Man. And if I'm the Son of Man, then I'm the Lord. If I'm the Lord, then I'm God. And if I'm God, the earth is mine, everything in it, and everybody on it. Because that's what's written. The earth is the Lord's, the fullness thereof, the world, and they that dwell therein. That's the only way I could judge you, is that you got to be mine. A judge, in this world, they teach you that. A judge cannot judge you if he does not have jurisdiction over you. If you are out of his jurisdiction, he can't judge you. I didn't hear you. If it's any place on this earth that's not mine, then I don't have jurisdiction there. Of course, if I didn't have jurisdiction, the internet wouldn't go all over the earth. See, you can't undo this. It's done already. Only thing you can do now is believe or disbelieve. And that's what's written. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son. And if I'm not the only begotten S-U-N of God, come in here and show me that you are equal to me in knowledge and understanding, and that you are just as enlightened in the word of Allah as I am. Come on, show me. This is your chance. Come show me. Now, where's all of these white supremacists? Where they at? I thought y'all was superior. There's nothing superior about a man who has to lie and cheat. To lie and cheat is a sign of inferiority. I didn't hear you. If the truth was on your side, you wouldn't care who was on a jury when you go to trial. You wouldn't care who's on the jury as long as they was honest people. Huh? But you don't want honest people on a jury. You want dishonest people on there. You don't want honest politicians. You want dishonest politicians. Why? Because you know you are inferior to an honest man. And what makes you inferior to an honest man is that you are a liar. I need. A lie is always inferior to the truth. Just like I look at these people now, and you're still trying to make the Taliban look as though they just all bad. Well, if they that bad, why was they losing their lives protecting Americans who was trying to leave Afghanistan? If all of them was that bad. Why did they live up to they gave their word, they lived up to it. Now I'm gonna tell you something. It's not a if you look at the history of the United States, there's some dark, dark times. Things happened in this country that decent people are ashamed of. Huh? And they very well should be ashamed. But you know, that's one of the major engines that speed up change is when you are ashamed of something that you did. Do you understand? The messenger said this. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, if you cannot put shame in a man, you can't change him. That's why you should never run from the truth of yourself. Face it. Recognize when you have did something that was wrong. And if you sincerely change, anyone who tries to condemn you after that change will not be successful any more than you can take a child and when they grow into adulthood, condemn them for something that they did as a child. Do you understand? Especially if they know better and are sorry and ain't repeating it, but are trying to make amends for it. You in the media, you should be very careful about what you magnify about people. I know I am. If I see people trying to do better, I can forgive what they messed up from that point on. Okay, you done saw the error of your ways. Well, then let's move on from here. You see, but when people are trying to do better, or making a point of moving to do better, and you don't recognize that, look, let me tell you something. when you know you are trying to do better, if people don't, whoever will not recognize that, don't worry about it. You just go on and do better. And leave the fool who can't see a difference. Just leave them there. It's not because it's not that they can't see. They don't want to see. Do you understand? Sometimes people try to paint others in a bad light to divert your attention from the bad light that's on them. You hear me? You know, I mean, that's one of the rules of war. Misdirection. Huh? They want to direct your attention in the wrong direction so you can't see them about to ambush you. Look, when people bring you news, don't just jump and run with it. You can make a note, but always consider who it is that's bringing you that news. You see? I mean, here these people talking about the Taliban, but I mean, let's just tell the truth, man. I mean, you just went against your own Constitution when you had a crook in the White House to justify going against the Constitution. I mean, you let that man sit up there and insult Muslims. He was actually trying to get you to attack Muslims here in America. That's why he called them Muslim terrorists. And I had to get on you and tell you there's no such thing as no Muslim terrorists. It's just terrorists. When people that go to church commit terrorist acts, you don't call them Christian terrorists. You call them terrorists. Huh?
Yes, sir.
But I know what that was about. And you're going to pay for that. I ain't forgot. Of course, you don't hear the term Muslim terrorist no more. I didn't hear you.
No, sir.
I told you. You don't let me hear you saying stuff like that. I'm a Muslim. There's no such thing as a one who submits to God terrorizing people. David said this, goodness and mercy shall follow me. Not IEDs and bazookas and hand grenades and ambushes. Bombs and bullets. Goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. The house of the Lord is the doctrine, the teachings of the Lord. Show me in the Holy Quran or the Holy Bible where Allah instructs us to terrorize people. Allah is the one that strikes terror in people's hearts. Not us. Allah said he loves not the aggressor. How you going to terrorize people if you're not aggressing on them? Come on, tell me. How do you terrorize someone without being the aggressor? Give me an example of terrorizing people without being aggressive to them. Can you give me an example? Come on, try to think up a scenario where if you are not the aggressor, you are terrorizing people. You cannot claim that a person who is defending themselves is terrorizing you, because nothing would be happening to you from them if you would leave them alone. I didn't hear you.
Yes, sir.
You said, well, they keep fighting after. The Holy Quran says, if they cease, or when they cease fighting with you, cease fighting with them. I didn't hear you.
Yes, sir.
I like to be truthful. I'm not the person who make up something. I'm the person who if you leave me alone, you ain't never got to worry about me bothering you. I ain't gonna bother you. But the problem with most people that are aggressive, the Holy Quran already said, and they will not cease fighting you until they turn you back from your religion. Huh? But you notice, it says Allah will judge between you in that wherein you have differences of opinion on the day of judgment. You see, now you in the day of judgment, and they stop trying to fight for religion. I don't put a stop to fighting over religion. I didn't hear you. Anybody coming in here offering me a religion? What happened? You see, when I tell you that Christianity is a lie, I'm telling you the truth. But I'm not telling you to stop believing that the Bible is the Word of God. The Bible is the Word of God. People just have been lying to you about the understanding of the Bible, as you have come to understand that now. You see, even when I told you that the term God means grantor of dominion, and I showed you over in Genesis, the first chapter of the Bible. It says, and the grantor of dominion said, let us make man in our image after our likeness, and let them have dominion. Huh? You can't let people have the dominion if you're not the grantor of dominion. Now, see how I take argument out of it? Huh? So, now who understood that before me? Thou shalt have none other grantor of dominion before me. I didn't hear you. To grant dominion over anything is to grant understanding of that thing and how to deal with it. No more false religions. No more false understandings of the Holy Scripture. It's time now for the truth. The truth has come, and falsehood must vanish. If what I'm teaching is not that truth that had to come, why is no one in here arguing against me with their so-called alternative truth. I didn't hear you. Now, it's many of you that are here in Mississippi that heard me when I was on the air in Natchez, when I first got on the air back in the 80s. And you was talking crazy to me. What happened? I told you I was going to stop your mouth. The scripture says that the kings of the earth shall shut their mouths at him. Huh? Allah even told me, give no thought what you shall say. You shall be brought before rulers and kings for a witness. And give no thought of what you shall say beforehand, for it shall be given to you in that self same hour what to speak. I get up here and Allah give me what to say. Huh? If you didn't have such a short memory, you would not be trying to condemn President Biden for anything. You would be too busy thanking him. But you are ungrateful. You even let these crooks in the Senate that voted against that Build Back Better and that American Rescue plan that the president had. They all voted against it and then went back to their states taking credit. And you let them because you a liar just like them. Only people who support liars are other liars. And you in the wrong day and time to be siding with a liar. But the fearful and the unbelieving and the whoremongers and the abominable and all liars shall have their part in the lake that burneth with fire and brimstone, which is the second death. Okay? That's the one that destroys you. Okay? You mark my word. You got it coming, boy. Let me see here. I don't want to miss none of it. I want to read the whole thing to you. Because you think all this is a joke. It ain't no joke. In the 8th verse of the 21st chapter of Revelation, it says, but the fearful, you who know right, but you let these little rocks in their pockets, so-called skinheads and Ku Klux Klan and Nazi party people, you let all these people frighten you into silence, into sitting down, letting them just do what they please. Okay, but the fearful, that's you. And the unbelieving, unbelieving. It's like they call 7-Up the uncola. Hey, you tie your shoe and you untie your shoe. Did you used to believe in the Bible? Did you used to believe that you should treat others like you want to be treated? Did you used to believe that? Now what? Your belief has been undone. The unbelieving and the abominable. You know all the things that God said is an abomination. When you do it, you become abominable. Is that right? Then it says, and murderers. Oh, we know it's a whole lot of them walking around here, huh? I didn't hear you. Yeah. And pimps, whoremongers. You say, well, where are they? It's a whole lot of them online. All you do is go on there. You know them old porn sites and stuff like that. Pimps. Whoremongers. Huh? And sorcerers. Yeah. Deceivers. That's what a sorcerer is. It's a deceiver. Make you see what ain't there. That's what some of them in politics, sorcery. That election was stolen. That election was making up a lie. Huh? QAnon. Since when does a man that's telling the truth have to be anonymous? I didn't hear you. I want to be anonymous. The truth does not take up residence in cowards. As the messenger said, he that knows the truth, he must teach it if he knows it. Do you understand? Why? Because the truth is bold. And whoever is possessed of truth is bold. Because the truth makes them that way. And idolaters. And all liars. Idolaters are people who speak up, worship false things. It's just like when I call all your religions a lie. You notice, you don't see no Jehovah's Witness overseers or these people. Just like when I asked, who is this Watchtower Society? Who are these people? Watchtower Society? Who is that? Ain't none of them come in here and say, well, I'm part of that, and we are this, and my name is so-and-so, and such and so-and-so. And I sit down, and we write our opinions of what the scripture is. And then I would tell them, well, your opinion of God's word don't count. God's word can only be understood by God. As he said, to him whom he gives no understanding, or no light of understanding, he don't have no light. Now, when did God speak to the Watchtower Society? And if he spoke to you privately, then his word is not true. Because he said the understanding of the book is in the book. He said he sent it down fully explained. Then show me in the book where you found this explanation that you give. Now you see why they don't want to talk to me. Even though Jehovah spoke to Moses, Moses didn't even call himself a Jehovah's Witness. Now ain't that strange? I didn't hear you. I don't find no terms in the book called Jehovah's Witness. You just a bunch of liars. You done call yourself gonna build you a tower to heaven. You gonna ascend into heaven when the book told you no man hath ascended up to heaven but he who came down from heaven. Even, and there ain't but one man, the Son of Man, which is in heaven. In the volume of this book, you find it all written about me. And now I'm here and I can go up and down in it. I can go in and out of it and find pasture. You saw me make Babylon 5 bear witness to what the Bible says. Power is not taken, it is given. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Even the Declaration of Independence tells you that. It says, man, God have endowed, the Creator has endowed every human being with rights that are inalienable. You can't take from them. And that's the right of life and freedom and the pursuit of their happiness. I don't care how you try. You can try to frighten them and make them give it up. You can do some of anything, but you can't take it. They have to give it up. They have to give it to you. You can't take it from them. I didn't hear you. That's why they're fearful. That's terrible. That's the first thing. But you fear someone more than you do God? You let the devil frighten you into disobeying God? You let people who do wrong frighten you against doing what's right? And then you still call yourself a man? You call yourself woman? The womb of man? You're just a grown body. You ain't no man. And you ain't no woman. God makes man. Truth makes man. And truth makes woman. And when we know the truth makes us free. Free of what? Free of being dominated, free of being frightened out of doing what's right. No, the truth makes us free. Free. I said, if you submit to Allah, Allah will seize people. He'll grab them by their forehead. When they even think about doing harm to you, he will tighten that forehead up on them. He'll make them change their mind. Because he already lost. He said, whosoever shall offend one of these little ones that believe in me, it would have been better for him that a millstone was hanged about his neck and he was cast into the sea. Oh, yeah. You stand a better chance with a millstone hung around your neck trying to go swimming in the ocean than you stand by offending God's people. So, if you're going to be afraid, you better learn to be afraid of the right one. As Jesus said, fear not them. Fear not him that can kill the body, and after that, ain't nothing else he can do. No, I tell you who to fear. Fear him that after he have killed, have power to cast into hell. You ever seen a person when their mind done been killed, when their understanding done been taken from them? You've seen them walking down the street? Now that's a fate worse than death. I didn't hear you. Now that's somebody who walking around in hell. I didn't hear you. Hollering when ain't nobody bothering them? Huh? Frightened when ain't nobody chasing them? Huh? Cussing when ain't nobody talking to them? That's hell. And I tell you something else. You can tell when they in hell because nobody helps them. Nobody even offers them help. You know why? Because Allah won't let you. They shall have no friend nor helper. All right. Okay, I'm gonna let you go. I done gave you enough to think over. You can chew on that for a while. Oh, I want to say to the Prime Minister of Canada, take care of your country, man. Take care of your people. Don't let a few cause injury to the many. Prime Minister Trudeau, Justin Trudeau. That's right. You do what's right for your people. I'm with you, man. I'm with all of those who trying to do what is right. And I'm against all of those who trying to do what is wrong. You're going to find out that I'm the wrong one to want to be against you. You believe it or not, you ain't never got to believe it. But I'm going to go off with this. Oh, beautiful for heroes in liberating strife, more than self, their country love and mercy, more than life. I'm talking about America, ooh, America. May God your gold refine, and may all your success be in righteousness, and every gain divine. We can sing it like this. Oh, beautiful for spacious sky and the humble waves of grace, whose purple mountains, they stand just like great majesty above the fruited plains. I'm talking about America, sweet America. My God shed his grace on thee to crown your good in one great brotherhood, from sea to shining sea. I'll sing America, Allah bless America, and let your grace shine on these people and crown our good with brotherhood from the Atlantic to the Pacific, from sea to shining sea. I thank you, Allah. I thank you, Allah, from sea to shining sea. Yes, that is a beautiful song. And if North America is our mother. Huh? I was born here. So just like, now you're finding out the whole earth is the Holy Land. I didn't hear you. Not just one part of it. If people talking about, well, I'm going to go over to the Holy Land. Well, now what you going to call this now that the Son of Man been born over here in the worst part of the planet? Wheresoever the carcass is, there shall the eagles be gathered together. The need where you find the buzzards. The buzzard is an eagle. I didn't hear you. Okay. Wherever you see them circling, it's because it's a carcass there. Well, wherever you see the Son of Man, that's where the greatest need is. Well, okay, I'm here. Even unto the west, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. So all praises due to Allah. So let's get together and make a better world. I mean, we can put a stop to all of the bloodshed. We just don't have to take part in it. Just say, I refuse. I'm not going to take part in it no more. It's just that simple. Huh? You nobody got authority to make you go kill nobody. You can stop it yourself. All you got to do is stop it. Oh.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Someone with the screen name Brother Edward X says, where is Elijah Muhammad?
Where's Jesus? Where's Moses? Where's David? If you want to know where the physical flesh of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is, it's buried where they buried him in Chicago. If you want to know where their teaching is, it's right here with me. Don't be listening to Farrakhan and them out there telling you lying, talking about the messenger sitting up on the mothership and all this kind of stuff. Don't be paying them people no attention. I mean, why would you even be trying to look for him when he told you that Allah was coming after him? He said, God is coming after me. That's what he said. He never told you he was going somewhere and come back. He said, Elijah, he said, you didn't read nowhere about Elijah dying. He said, but he died. He said, there's none that come here and stay forever. He said, I don't know if Allah will let me live another year as far as that goes, he said. But while I'm here, I must work. That's what he said. He said, and then you got some that say, well, Jesus died and came back. He said one or two words to stop that kind of talk. He said, tell him to show him to you. People set up lying to you. That's just like they did about Jesus and all of the prophets. You had one when Prophet Muhammad passed away, telling it, if anybody say he dead, I'm gonna take his head. And I think Abu Bakr, one of the Umar, one of them, he said he stood up. He didn't pay that no attention. He said, to you who follow, who worship or believe in Muhammad, Muhammad is dead. But to you who worship Allah, Allah lives. Didn't nobody take his head because he told the truth. As the Holy Quran says, if Muhammad dies or is killed, then will you turn back upon your heels? And whoever turns back upon his heels, you can't do no harm to Allah, but to yourself. You see? So we don't teach you lies. We teach you the truth. You know, people who pretend to love the Honorable Elijah Muhammad so much, those are the ones who love him the least. All you have to do is look at what he taught and listen to what they're teaching and look at what they're doing. Just like trying to get you to believe that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is on the mothership somewhere or whatever. Find that in the teachings where the messenger said he's going to die. They're going to say he dead, but he's going to be on the mothership. Find that one. So, you know, I don't subscribe to that kind of foolishness. You know, the messenger said he hoped that he would be with me when I come, and he is with me. You notice I'm the only one that played the messenger's teachings and let you hear him bearing me witness. No. Can't nobody else make him bear witness to them. The very ones who claim that they loved him the most is the ones who turned on him. So anyway, but the messenger Muhammad's physical form passed away. You know, and your proof of that, if somebody say he didn't, tell him, well, where is he? Show him to me. I want to hear that. So, any more questions? So all of you better get in my class and you better try to get this understanding in you so that you can be part of something that's going to be here. If you don't get a changed mind, you're not going to be here. Yeah. Okay. And may Allah bless us and keep us safe and in our right minds, and grant to us who believe and trust in his word, may he grant to us a peaceful and pleasant night's rest and sleep, and a happy, peaceful, and pleasant morning's rise. May Allah's Salaam Alaikum.